Welcome back to Good Morning Quad Cities at 11. We're here with Craig Nov, our plant and garden expert, answering your questions through the WQ80 Facebook Live.
I had somebody ask me a question the other day. What do I do with my amaryllis? Amaryllis right now should be dormant. This is the time when they get no water at all, and there's no water for November and December. 8 weeks of absolute dryness will allow that bud to form on the amaryllis, and then it will bloom sometime after the first of the year.
All right. We have Robert. Can I still plant daffodil bulbs?
Of course. You can plant daffodils right up until the ground freezes and you can't get through the frost anymore. Just make sure that you get them deep enough, and that's about 8 to 9 inches on a daffodil bulb, and they should be absolutely gorgeous next year.
Chad, I'm not sure that I understand your question, so if you want to type that maybe another way, we'll come back to it. Karen, can peonies still be transplanted?
Of course. Peonies, we're still in peony transplanting season. Just make sure when you transplant them, you get those buds right under the soil line.
Theo asking, I have orchids that are done blooming. The leaves look good. Will they bloom again?
Of course. Orchids normally bloom about once a year. Now that they're out of bloom, you might want to take a look at the root situation. If you got a lot of roots above the bark line, they could be repotted now while they're not in bloom. Make sure that you're fertilizing them weekly. Very, very dilute fertilizer. But when the orchid is ready, it's going to bloom again. They get a bum rap. They're not nearly as hard as they look.
Really? All right. Pat, can I trim boxwoods now, or should I wait till spring?
Trim what?
Boxwoods?
Boxwoods. Actually, I would wait until after Thanksgiving. You know, I know we're not going to get a long, warm fall. That is just not in the cards this year. But you don't want to have any new growth from now until the ground freezes, which is not until Christmas in this area. So hold off on the trimming until at least early to mid-December.
Wesley asking, we're putting up a shed and have a couple of hostas in the way. Is it too late to transplant them?
No, no. Go ahead, get them out of the ground, get them back in the ground. They're never even going to know they've been touched.
Rick is asking, when I weed whack the asparagus and cover the bed with newspaper, should I apply any fertilizers or root stimulator?
No, your fertilizer goes on immediately after the harvest next year, which is usually sometime early to mid-June. And yes, go ahead. Get rid of those tops. When you weed whack at those tops, either get burned or put in the garbage. They have to leave the property completely. Put down the newspaper and a couple of inches of mulch. The asparagus next year will pop right through that little bit of newspaper and mulch, and you won't have any weeds in your bed.
Get rid of the tops. Got it. Amb, I have 2 hibiscus bushes. Need to trim back how far and when? And also, can I move them to a new place?
Well, if this is an outdoor hibiscus, they get cut down to about 4 inches in the spring, and that's when you would go ahead and move them. If it's the tropical hibiscus, you can cut them back by about 1/3, but you're going to be sacrificing your winter bloom, and you want to make sure that you never prune that tropical hibiscus after the 1st of March, because it takes 8 weeks for them to come back into bloom, and they'll just be ready to bloom when you put them back outside around Memorial Day next year.
Okay. Lost my spot here. Bill, is now a good time to put lime down in your garden after you've tilled it up?
Only if you've had a soil test. I never put down lime. I never suggest putting down lime unless you have had a soil test. If you've had a soil test and it says, yes, it needs lime, go ahead. Now would be a time to put it on.
Penny asking, I haven't cut back or dug up my canopas yet. Will they be okay if they wait till the weekend?
Sure. We've just had a couple of killing frosts recently. So take those tops, cut them off, lay them on top of the cannas in the ground. Don't dig them up for at least another about 14 days. You want that ground to cool down around the rhizomes that you'll be digging up to force them into dormancy so they don't try and grow after you dig them up.
And Chad is asking, what do you need to do with mint plants in the garden to prepare them for winter?
Nothing. It is a weed. Believe me, it's going to survive. If anything, take a look at how big the mint plant has gotten, and maybe next spring you'll actually want to dig some up around the edge because it can take over a perennial if you don't keep it under control.
Tom says, my privet is beautiful now and still has leaves on it. When is the best time to cut it back?
I would wait until spring. If it's still got leaves on it now, spring would be the time to go ahead and do that cut back.
Debbie, is it too late to put down weed and feed?
No, actually, Halloween is what I always tell. So you're only one day late right now. So get your fall winterizer on right now. The ground is still actually warm, even though the air is very cold. Those roots and rhizomes are going to make good use of that fertilizer to build up for next spring.
Joel, how should roses be pruned for winter?
Roses should be taken down to about knee high. That's about 18 inches in the fall. I suppose you could do it now. I don't think they're going to put on much new growth, but then wait until the ground starts to freeze. And again, that's early December. That's when you mound the rows up with the El Cheapo hardwood mulch to protect the crown for the winter. Next spring, you cut them again down to about 10 inches above the ground.
All right, Craig, thank you so much. That is all the time we have for this segment. But be sure you join the Facebook Live each and every Wednesday where you can submit your questions and be a part of that conversation. Good Morning Quad Cities at 11. We'll be right back.